welcome back. So today I've got to get into the center diff because I don't want to blow up a brand new set of X-Max tires because the front's ballooning too much. So before I take it out, I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the center diff. Now these center diffs already have 20 million in it. I don't know how full it is. I don't want to add a bunch of earplugs to it to lock it up because I really don't want it locked. This Coke can size motor, I just think it's too much wheel speed, especially with the gearing I have on it, 3946. I want to keep the wheel speed up, and the only reason I want to keep it up is for air control. And I was hoping to do it with air control with the factory wheels, but I'm going to give the X-Max wheels a try and eventually put these back on once I glue them down and that dries and all that stuff. But the X-Max wheels are notorious for breaking the beads loose as well. So I'm sure I'm only going to get one rip out of them and then have to re-glue them. To give this thing a fair shot, we're going to go ahead and pull apart this center diff and we're going to tighten it up. Now these center diffs aren't that easy to get to. So I'm going to work on popping this rear apart. So let me get some guns out. If that's something you want to see, I do have some earplugs here and I do have some 20 million. I'm going to see where the diff is. Right now, you can see the front wheels are not driving, and that's how easy it is to turn it. Now I want to be able to spin this and the front wheels spin a little bit. Not totally lock up, but they need to spin a little bit. They can't be this loose. That's all through the center diff. Normally I take this stuff apart in pieces, but now that I know how the X-Max is, I can do it in bulk. So I'm going to take apart the two there, two here, and then the whole wing's going to come off with the wheelie bar and bumper support. Normally I would pop the wing off, but I know I can do it this way. And kind of leave all the screws together. So that's the wing. The wheelie bar is just gonna lift out of here. Wing, wheelie bar. Now we're gonna take the upper shock tower off. Actually, it's supposed to be the two top bolts of the diff cover. So I'm gonna try to angle this thing to where you guys can see it. Gotta put a tire underneath it too. So I took out the top, then we're going to loosen the two bottom. Loosen the middle one. Then we're going to pop the diff back just so everything's loose. We're going to take off these upper caps. Then we're going to pull our hinge pins. I've explained this in a couple videos now. Pull those two pins out. Same thing with the shocks. Take the bolt out. Then we're going to pull the upper pins out. For the shocks. And that's why we have the tire underneath it, so it doesn't drop to the ground. Once we do that, pop our shocks out, pop our arms out, axles, everything's out of the way. 4 bolts. The longer ones are forward towards the battery. The longer one is towards your battery tray. You can get that out of the way now, the upper shock tower. And now we can get to our diff, which is in here. But in order to get to that, you got to take out the cush drive. Four bolts for the cush drive. Cover. We're gonna pop out. We don't even need to take out, well, we'll take out the cush drive next. So 2 more bolts right here and here, and then 2 bolts forward. And then this should come off. That's our cover. So this bolt and this bolt are going to stay clear of not having bolts in it, because that's the cush drive cover. Once we get that off, it exposes our diff. Now, you would think that you can get your diff out now, but you can't. Because you can't slide it back because the drive shaft's connected. I don't know if this is not saving me any time by pulling apart the top, because now I'm going to have to split the back of this off. So in order to do that, I have to flip it upside down. But at this point, I need to take out the screws for the bulkhead. Wow. That's just a cover for the drive shaft. It's a lot of work to get to this diff. I mean, the only screws I see are these motor mount screws. Okay, so there's 2 screws in the fronts. So I did have to pull the motor mount. And that slides it out. Which that sucks. I have to take out the motor mount to get to these 2 screws. Just to be able to slide this off so that I could get to the diff. So we got a completely stripped down rear of the X-Max. And now I'm going to pull off the pinion, which I'm just going to set that back in there for now. That bearing going to go there. This bearing needs some grease, and it feels like it's kind of seized on there already. You can see how rusty it is. Trying to get this bearing off because it's already sticking to this differential, and this bearing needs to be serviced bad. Really? I'm not having very good luck with TRAXXAS's bearings. Right in the sand. And the rear seal is all messed up. There is no lube inside that. And that bearing feels terrible. I'm going to soak this in some PB Blaster. Must say, it really seems like TRAXXAS's bearings have no grease in them. This bearing shows good, but this one wasn't, you know, susceptible to the water. I mean, that's pretty dry. Well, I guess it's a good thing that I'm doing diff fluid, because these bearings, like I said, so far I've had a bunch of bearings on this RC that have rusted up. God, that feels terrible. That thing is literally nothing but crap inside there. It feels gritty. I'll let that get all the sand out of there. Now we're going to take the diff apart. See how much fluid is in this thing. It's supposed to have 20 million in it, but it is pretty soft. Don't want to tear the gasket. That's pretty darn dry if you ask me. That is 20 million, but it's pretty darn dry. This, so I can spin this thing. I mean, that's pretty tight. Let me grab some 20 million. So here's TRAXXAS's 20 million. This is what they use for their differentials. I've got some earplugs, but look at that. There is nothing in there. I mean, that's literally just like earplugs. This 20 million. It's just there's not enough of it in there. See, I mean, that's the same consistency as this. Earplugs and this feel the same. I mean, that's a lot. One earplug and I filled it up with some 20 million, which the 20 million in these earplugs, the consistency feels the same. All right. There we go. I mean, it doesn't feel much stiffer, but I guess it could be. Now I got to fix these bearings. There is so much grit inside these bearings. Using my nails to get the grit out of there. These bearings. My favorite job. I think China should hire me just to do differentials on RCs all day long. Nice and smooth now. Man, what a messy job. Bearing fell off. Look at that. That is nice and smooth now. Man, I'll tell you what, every time I work on this thing, and my X-Max has never had this kind of bearing issue, but I don't know if TRAXXAS changed the manufacturer for the bearings, but I've never had so many trouble with bearings. So I'm going to clean up some of this mess, and then we're going to get it back together. All right, so now that I got this done and locked up, we are going to have to reverse all this stuff. Oh, before I slide this on, there is this foam thing that's got to go in here. To keep dirt and debris out. So I'm going to just slide this up and then slip this on. And now, if you look, it's driving the front. Yeah, it's driving the whole thing forward. That's good. So I know the diff is a lot stronger. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll have some screws on the bottom without. I can put these in. So I should be able to throw the shock tower on, I believe. Cover's still loose. Then I can put these 4 in. And then I can also tighten down the cover. Then the cover. Come on. Come on. And then 2 more. And then I'll hang the motor. Hang the motor, and I'll do the rest off camera. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. All I got to do is hang the wheels and put the rear bumper back together. But center diff on this thing is definitely a lot of work. But I believe we tightened up the center diff now. Even putting fluid in the center diff. Had to take it apart a few times just to dial it in. Just to give it that little bit of give. I kept pulling some of the, it wasn't even the earplug material. I believe it was the 20 million, the black 20 million that was in there. And we added some 20 million and 1 earplug to it. And it seemed to stiffen it up quite a bit. Hopefully that'll hold and I won't have to take it apart. And hopefully Friday, I'll be able to go rip this thing. I am going to glue all the tires down. And I'll bring all the tires with me with a tire wrench in case we blow a tire again. But hopefully by locking up the center diff a little bit more or stiffening it up, we'll be able to not blow the front tires anymore with this mini big block in here. But there we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. And we'll catch you guys on my next video with the XRT. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.